Hello, good morning, all. This is going to be a short video, and it's based on, um, a comment made on our WhatsApp hub about how do we take advantage? How do we know? How do we look at the structure to take an advantage, seeing what the wave has done and or the structure is giving us, and to probably enter a trade option again. It's pretty not that simple. It's most of the time difficult, and it's based on what kind of knowledge you have of the structure and of the trade, and how you can count your way. So it is not always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not always WXY. It is not always uh, ABC. It's not always a flat, a zigzag and all of that. So, but you must have an holistic idea of what the structure is doing. And it's not, oh, this is where the structure broke. This is the 4-hour structure or support or resistance or the daily support or resistance. So let me go and wait there for price to test that area. It's not as simple as that. So you must know what the structure is giving you. It's going to be a very short video to answer that, so that we know where exactly we are and what I've been saying. I understand at times what has been the frustration of so many people on the hub. I remember comments like, oh, Koboko, comments like passion, comments like all of that. I can understand where it's coming from, because we have played straight, or we had played straight, times past, and people, have been on the wrong side of the trade, or thinking we are on the right side of the trade. But the difference here now is that for well over, I think, 4, 5 or 6 months or thereabout now, about that, yes, you will notice that if I call that this is the direction that we're expecting, the trade will still tend to go in that direction. And that is the beautiful thing about knowing the structure. It might a bit push outside of that, because we're not in control of what they're trying to do. And I will be showing you all of that. And that is why you want to wait and remain in the line of the structure. That is very important. So this is Euro USD again. I've pretty much given you during the week. So was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday or Sunday, I've given you my bias as to what the price will do, and we must know what the price is giving us and what wave or structure we are seeing to understand fully, oh, this is now the true position of what we are doing. Like I told you during the week, I said, when you see a price action like this, it tells you that, okay, a more downside is coming. This is the weekly candle formation now. When you see a price action like this on the weekly, this particular one tells you a more downside is coming. But then what did you see? You see price moving up. And this also is telling you, when you see a bullish, the head down or the body down, there's a wick on top of it, tells you this is a correction. And these are things you must know. And for this one to have been like this, closed like this, and it's not going up, if it's like the bulls, the green candle that give you this kind of information on the weekly candle format, then you can tell that, oh, it's either it's going to be a change of a trend. So that is how to interpret it. But because it's still, the bears forming these, so it's telling us that we are still going more downside. But then it might not be immediate, as you are seeing that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, the price has been going up. It is just a correction. So we are still going more downside. That is what you can deduce from this candle. Even if you go and look at it on the monthly, what I'm doing this morning, I've never done it this way for you, is because of that comment, and I want you to get it clear. So even if you see this monthly candle, it's still the same thing that is saying that more downside is coming. More downside is coming. It has to close properly, and before we see an upside or see, but of course, the monthly and the weekly, they don't quickly form, and they are slow. So you don't see, but it's always good for you to be checking from time to time. These price action more downside, and I don't expect their correction to even break above this monthly. It won't just happen like that. It won't just happen like that. So everything is mathematics and what to expect. So the monthly had suggested that we are going more down. The weekly had suggested that we are going more down. You can see, but for this to be happening, it's just a correction. Okay. So now, if you now go to the daily, I want to show us something here. Now go to the daily. So even the daily, the root here is still saying the same thing here. Look at it here. It's still the same candle that's giving us a warning that more downside still exists here, but we will know that, oh, what level are we to start our correction? Because if you're able to count your wave, then you're able to see that this is the level. Now, see one thing here. When this correction started here, you saw this, the price moved. It's like it's telling you that we will soon be coming down. They are warning their warnings, their hints, hints. Yeah, there are hints and clues, along the line that will be suggesting that maybe something is about ending, for this to have formed one, for this to have formed two, and they have done it twice, to tell you that they want to come down. They needed not to do it the third time. So, but when you think that it's going to be limit here, they still push it up. And this is just what correction tells you. And they do this correction to tell you, and they break, to freak you out because you don't know how to count the flats and the structures and all of that. And you think it's manipulation. It's not manipulation because you're not able to see an A and a B leg to know where the C is going to be. And so you are caught and you get frustrated, because also you are also trying to manage. So if you look at this high here, it broke a bit upper here, and this also went a bit upper. That is what they do all time. So you could look at the current correction too. They've been breaking I, and here I, and now they're coming down. So what we see now is that for sure now, in the next 1 week to 1.5 weeks, they are not coming up again. So it's now bearish. But this bearish movement, is possible. It might not break the bottom, and it might break the bottom, but we'll see what we are going to get. So the formation and the correction and the structure building will tell us where the limit of this is going to be before we turn up again. So because we are correcting a big fall, so you can see that it has extended more beyond this one, which is just a 4. This is a 4 here, and a 3-4 here, a 3-4, instead of a 3, so a 3-4 here, and this is a 3-5 to finish a 3-5 here. So this is what we get here. But now, saying this is a big fall, and it has extended for more than only God knows how many months that we've done now. Let's see how many months that we have here. So I'm doing this morning to quickly give us these. How many months have we done now? From it's just 2 months really. It's just 2 months from here, 1 and 2. It's just 2 months. So 2 months are gone, and we might be doing another 2 months or a month at least before we probably say we are coming down again. Now, so yeah, let me go back to the daily. Daily. No, I said daily. I'm interested in the daily. The signal is a bit slow. And it's early in the morning. Okay, now, so that's what we have now. This is where we are. Now, what I want you to see here is the correction, the kind of correction that we are doing at the moment. That is what I want you to see, the kind of correction we are doing here at the moment. That is what I want you to see here. A low, a high, and a low and a high. So this is pretty much a WXY. So this is pretty much a WXY. And, you know, we are going to have, so this is a W, an X, and a Y, which marks the beginning of another W, and an X, and a Y. So this is more of a double correction of W in the middle, you know, probably, you know, the black, sorry, the red and the black, you know, here before we now have, you know, the last one, which is a W. Now, we have that a W, an X, a Y, you know, which is the like a black, we can say. Then we now have another one, which is red, now a W, an X, and a Y. Before we now have a blue. So the blue means the last one, which is the blue box. So to now have a W here. So that means we are currently now running this leg down, which is not going to be a bigger X. So when we now have a bigger X and we finish a bigger X, we're going to turn up to have a bigger Y. And after the bigger Y, then we are going to be coming down. So now let me now go inside the 4 hourly for you to see very well. So the price is now coming down. So this is the 4 hourly again. So this is where it all started. This is where it all started. Now, this is the last wave of 3.5, and so this is the international of that wave coming, and a 3.5, then a W, a X, and a Y, which is the black, and we have a red also Y, sorry, a W, red, a Y, and sorry, a X and a Y. So, but at the same time, you can say that you can even just label it at once and say this is your W and your X and the Y here. It does not matter. You can put it here a W and an X and a Y, just not to be too complex. Then we now know that we have finished a major W. So we are doing the X correction, which will link this structure. So this is going to tell us what to expect. Now, let me quickly bring back, this is Euro USD. I'm using it. Okay, good. So you all knew how we got here. So nothing had changed really. So you all knew how we got here, how we got this blue box here, which is still a bit far from finishing 4. So you all knew how we got here, how we connected the 2 up with this 3 to know where the 4 is going to be, that the 4 should end inside this blue zone for us to turn down and finish with 5, and which we are still expecting. And now what we're trying to do here, I showed you if you watch the past video, previous video, and in the last week video, we were thinking that probably we are going to probably extend a bit into this before we turn down. So, but price didn't do that. Price didn't break the top. So because price didn't break the top, price is not coming back here. So we don't need this. Price is not coming back here now. Price is not coming back here now. So we don't need that anymore. That is going to happen across board. So this is a W and a X and a Y. You can see that Y. Now this now had finished our W completely. From here to here is the W. It has finished. Now we don't really need this one anymore. This trend line is not needed anymore because the structure had broken to the downside now. So we don't need this one anymore. So that I'm trying to do as much as possible, leave the screen as plain as possible so that we can see that we don't need anymore. And now this Y structure is still for the future. And by the time we do Y, we complete that correction completely. And that is still going to go more to the upside. So it's going to be, then this one also is out. We don't need this one again for now. So we should just take that out. We don't need that also again for now because price are giving us where it's going to. So you think that last week is going up and it's going to go up. And I've been warning us that no, what we want to see, we want to see more downside and eventually they have finished this correction. So each time it's because we know what the structure is and what to expect, but at what level they're going to turn down, we don't know, but they choose to finish their W now here. And we can see clearly from the daily time frame that the candle had changed and we are coming down. Now, what are we seeing here now? In as well, we have W and X and a Y. To finish this, to have a blue. We will be doing something like that also here too. We are going to come down here. So the X that is going to be here before we turn up. Once we finish X, we are going up to Y. That's what I'm saying. But when are they going to finish up this one? I expect a W, an ABC structure to get to X. So what I expect is that this leg that is coming down is rather impulsive. It's going to be an A structure, and we are going to have a B structure to the upside, and before we now finish a C, which will fall where X is going to be, and we'll find out that once we drop our the cell, then we are going to pick up, you turn back to have a Y. So that is what we are going to do. That is what I can see here, unless we break this to the downside. But if you're going to break to the downside, this arm would suggest, because we're going to have an ABC, probably we should expect an equal arm. Now, this is turning out to be a 5-way structure. Now, where do you want to sell this in case you have missed it? Where do you want to sell it? Where you want to sell it is that this has pretty much been coming down in a 5-way structure, and the internal architecture, we're within a wave 3, probably going to finish a wave 4 now, before we finish a wave 5. But don't bother your head about counting this. Don't bother your head. So the best you can do with these is to draw your trend line. You link your trend line to that. See what you are looking at, the tip here and the tip here. You connect them because there's a correction here to draw your trend. So that's what I'm doing. You don't have a big screen, go and get one so that you can see. Now let me try and zoom. I think this one is okay like this. This one is okay like this. So it's okay like this. So what we need to do, we need to see a break to this out of this structure. So once we do that, you know that we are correcting a B. And when would you know that we are done with a B? Okay. Now this is the trick here. This pink is for me to know where exactly we're going to be, which I can't decide now until we finish this wave to the downside. We should be having an ending diagonal here around this place. It might extend a bit to the downside. Once we have an ending diagonal and we have a price action to the upside, we know that we have finished A, then we should break this structure to the upside. You know, and the trick here is this: assuming that this is O, the end of A. Now we have to know where a 2 is here. We have to know where a 2 is here. And if you want to know where a 2 is here, if we go inside the 1 hour, okay, not even the 1 hour. Okay, let's go inside the 1 hour. Let's go inside the 1 hour. Okay, so if you go inside the 1 hour, this one helps you better. This is like a big 1 and a big 2, black and black 2. Then we now have the internal structure of wave 3 here. So this is 1 for 3 and this is 2 for 3. So what we can do here is this. Okay, let me just take 1 out of here off because it's just the highest point of that W. So that's and so if I take that off or out, then we can say our 2 in the primary, it's somewhere here. Our 2 in the primary is somewhere there. And our 2 in the major, okay. Our 2 in the major, let me change the color as well. Okay, let me just leave it like that. It's somewhere here. So to get our 2, we are looking at between here, which is broken, and between here that is not broken. So this is the low the price had made. Let me do away with this for now. Let me do away with this for now. So this is where in the internal structure of 3, as we finish this 3 to finish 5, we'll see. The only time you will know that you have finished this as a 5 is once your correction to the upside is more than what a wave 4 will give you. And that will now tell you now you are correcting A, B. So now this is the limit you are going to get. Let's do the first one. The first one will now be from here. This might change, assuming that this is where 5 has ended. So you know that 3 is going to finish around this area. Let me still use this. Let me use this. 3 is going to finish around that area. This is 30. 4 is going to finish around this area. This is 38. Okay. And if we take it also and say to the major 2, which is up here, this is another level that we expect 4 to finish. This is another level that we expect 4 major to finish. This will be another level we expect 4 major to finish. So we need to break out of this zone. We now need to break out of this zone. we would need to break out of this zone. So once we break out of this zone, then we can tell ourselves that then we are correcting a B. So in that case, we'll be looking at, all this can change because this weight that is going there is not finished. Then we cannot be looking at our entry between a 50 and a 61.8. Now, the structure that we have confirmed is this one is being laid out, and this one also is being laid out. That's what I'm saying. Those two have been laid out. This is one now. So those two, this one has been laid out, this one has been laid out. We know that. But what we need to finish is this one. So if we finish this one, of course, this and this will change, this and this will change. And so you can see that it's difficult to tell you, oh, go and wait here. This is where price will come to. It's difficult to do that. So we need this to change. But what you need to do for yourself so that you will know that it has changed is with this trend line, come there, put your alert, the 1 hour alert, and say that Euro USD is correcting to be on 1 hour. So once price hits that, then you will know that you are correct. You can hit it at this level, but it doesn't mean that that is the, so you when you have the alert, then you can now begin to recalibrate to know where 4 is going to break through. And that's a breakthrough 4, and we are expecting a 50 or a 61. Because it's an X and it's a correction, so we don't expect a deep pullback. You won't expect a deep pullback to 78 or 76 or 85. No, you won't see that. You can only see that in quite an impulse that is not corrective, so that a deep 2 can be 85. Yeah, 85, can get to 85 or 76. That is when you now expect that. But this is like a correction. It's clear to us that what we are seeing is nothing but we are seeing a WXY in the middle, which is WX. This is W formation in the middle, so we are seeing in X. So we would not expect price to break above these I here for X. No, we will not. But let's allow this to correct finish and break this level before we say, okay, we can find a higher place to sell X to get to this point. So we'll be, sorry, to sell C. So let's this A complete, and B may be in this zone or a bit above it or a bit lower than that. We'll find out. And then we are going to now have a equal C to this zone, and we'll finish that way, then we'll turn on. So that's it for now, and you can apply this on other pairs. You can share this video, please. Share it, like it, comment, and all of that. All that also would help us. All right.